Now, granted, Derek Fisher's going to be a great coach. I can understand that. But the fact that you just coaching through him and he can't coach his own style, I feel like you're just being a puppet there. And I don't like that. So why not just have Whoopi Goldberg as Eddie be the head coach of the New York Knicks? You see how the movie worked. Maybe it'll work and they'll probably win some games. Speaking of movies, Will Smith has been dubbed to star in the new NFL concussion movie. I might go see it because it's Will Smith. He's a great actor. But you know what fans will be concussed? It's probably Jacksonville Jaguar fans. Because you know what they did? They're going to add cabanas to the stadium. So, make more people come. All that's going to do is make them go to sleep and be concussed watching the Jaguars play. You know who I wish was playing back in the NFL? And that's Sean Merriman. The reason why I want Sean Merriman back, because I used to love his dance, the whole lights out thing. That's awesome. Now he's going to be doing that in the WWE. Is that going to make me watch the WWE? No, because it's fake. You know what else is fake? The BS that Rashad McCants was saying. He pretty much was snitching. I'm sorry. We all know that these college players and these college athletes was getting paid. So why are you trying to sell this? That's not going to help you get back in the NBA. That's not also going to help you sell your book that you're trying to publish right now and trying to make a little money. You know who is just throwing money left and right? Probably Kobe Bryant and Michael Jordan. They dined together. I wonder who picked up that tab. You know who probably wasn't invited to their dinner? Smush Parker. Because according to Smush Parker, he said Kobe told him, don't talk to me. You got to at least do something and win some championships to even talk to me and be on my type of level. You know who else took it to another level? Manny Machado. He took it to another level with his bat swing. He actually threw the bat. So everybody want to yell at Yasiel Puig for doing his bat swing. And back in the days of Manny Ramirez, when his bat swing, Manny Machado kind of takes the cake for his bat swing. You know who else takes the cake? It's going to be an anti-Redskins commercial that's going to premiere during the NBA Finals. That, to me, is going to take the cake. And you know who else takes the cake? California Chrome owner, who kind of went on a rant. Granted, you could say he had some sour grapes because his horse finished 5th at the Belmont, but he does have a point saying some of these horses who didn't race in previous races kind of got in there just because they didn't want to see a Triple Crown winner. And a lot of people don't want to see a Triple Crown winner. You know why? Because they want that money. It's all about that money for them to try to stop California Chrome from winning the Triple Crown. And I think it would be kind of interesting to see a Triple Crown winner. Don't you think so? It would keep horse racing kind of more interesting, make you want to watch horse racing. You know what everybody else was really watching? The NBA Finals. And everybody's getting on LeBron James and want to get on his cramps. It's a lot of LeBron haters out there. And I don't know why. If you ever been an athlete or played sports and you want to come at him talking about he's a baby for having cramps, if you ever had a cramp, it locks your body up. You don't know what that feels like. People can play on injuries, but if your body shuts down from a cramp, you can't play. So all you LeBron haters and people who just hate LeBron needs to just shut up. And you know who else is a hater on LeBron? Chris Sherrington. He's an NBA writer. And, the All-NBA team first team came out. And the only one who got a unanimous decision was Kevin Durant. Granted, he deserves it. He's the MVP. But another person who should have got the unanimous decision is LeBron James. And Chris Sherrington kind of stopped that from being the unanimous decision because he voted Blake Griffin over LeBron James. And the reason why he said Blake Griffin went up against better, competition, especially playing in a tougher conference in the Western Conference. I'm sorry, Chris. I kind of disagree with you. LeBron James was right there to me as number 2 in the MVP, not Blake Griffin, who was 3rd. So with that being said, I think you just want your name to get out there and you want to be heard and you want to stand out above everybody and want to overthink things a little too much. You're doing a little too much. You need to calm down and relax. While you're relaxing, you can listen to this BS podcast show. I'm your host, Brandon Fryer, a.k.a.
The Fry Guys.
Oh man, it just felt so good to get all that off my chest. I had to get it out. I had to get on my rant mode. But welcome, like I said before, to another edition of this BS Podcast Show. I'm your host, Brandon Fryer, a.k.a. The Fry Guy. Got the homie Mike Howard here in the building. Got a great show for you today. We're going to talk about these championships with NHL and the NBA. We're going to talk in that and dissect that a little bit. We're going to get into local. We're going to talk about some baseball. We're going to talk about the Soxs and the Cubs. You know, the MLB draft was up, so we got to get into that and really break those down and actually talk about what this do for the team going forward. And we got to talk about just everything that's going on with the state of the Sox and the Cubs. We're going to get into, of course, Yo-ish. Halftime, we got something really special coming via email from one of our contributors here. And we also going to talk about my BS top 50 NBA players right now. And as you know, I already put up numbers 50 to 41. They're out there. We're going to dissect those and probably recap those if you didn't know. And we're going to be talking about, for this one, we're going to be talking about numbers 40 to 31, but I'm going to really just give you half, so I'm only going to talk about numbers 40 to 36. But we're going to give you the whole one this whole week on the Tumblr page. We're going to get into that. But before we do any of that, let's get you caught up on the news this week with our BS update. And let's start off in horse racing as California Chrome fails to get the Triple Crown after finishing 5th in the Belmont this past weekend. In boxing, Miguel Cotto wins the WBC middleweight championship by defeating Sergio Martinez. He won by a 9th round TKO. In tennis, Rafael Nadal wins the 2014 French Open. This is his 9th French Open championship that he got. World Cup, Cristiano Ronaldo is ruled fit to play in the World Cup opener for his team, Portugal. In the NCAA, day 2 of the Ed O'Bannon versus the NCAA lawsuit continues on today. Also, the NCAA agrees on a $20 million settlement in the EA video game lawsuit. John Calipari agrees to a 7-year, $52 million extension to stay with Kentucky. He also rejected, there's a report out there that he did this, rejected the Cavaliers head coaching offer, which was, I think, a 5-year, $60 million deal. In the NHL, the Penguins fired their head coach, Dan Bylsma. He's officially ruled out. There's been reports and rumors that he was going to go, and then with new ownership and management, yeah, he's gone now. Gone. In the MLB, Manny Machado apologizes for his throwing bat incident. Kenny Morales and the Twins agree on a 1-year deal. The MLB draft has came and went, but the most notable one is Johnny Manziel was drafted in the 28th round by the San Diego Padres. That was the most interesting one to me out of all the draft picks in the 2014 MLB draft. In the NFL, Deshaun Jackson plans to sue his agent Drew Rosenhaus. He claims bribery on this part. The NFL sent letters to 3 cities on potential hosting the 2015 NFL draft. Those cities are Chicago, LA, and still New York. The Bears signed quarterback Jimmy Clausen to a 1-year deal. The Jaguars reportedly don't plan to cut wide receiver Justin Blackmon. 250 more NFL players, including Marcellus Wiley, joins the painkiller lawsuit against the NFL. Colin Kaepernick and the 49ers agreed to a 6-year, $126 million deal. Up next probably is Russell Wilson and Andrew Luck. And the Bills defensive tackle Marcellus Darius arrested for drag racing. Just troubles continue with him. This is the second time, I think, this offseason. In the NBA, the Rockets declined Chandler Parsons' option, which will make him a restricted free agent this upcoming offseason. The Jazz and Quinn Snyder agreed for him to become their new head coach. He was an assistant for the Atlanta Hawks this past season. The Clippers and former NBA player Delonte West agreed to a summer league deal. The Knicks and Derek Fisher agreed, where he is now their new head coach. So coming straight from playing right in the NBA to NBA head coaching seat. It's looking like that's the new trend now with these young coaches. And the NBA announced their all-NBA teams. The first team consists of Kevin Durant, LeBron James, Joakim Noah, James Harden, and Chris Paul. The second team includes Blake Griffin, Kevin Love, Dwight Howard, Steph Curry, and Tony Parker. The third team includes Paul George, LaMarcus Aldridge, Al Jefferson, Gordon Dragic, and Damian Lillard. And let's talk about more in the NBA as we're going to get into this NBA Finals talk in our first quarter. You know, I really like the Spurs' chances this time around. Even though, like I said, I still got the Heat in 6. I'm going to stand by my pick, Heat in 6. I still got the Heat winning. But, you know, one person told me this is why they like the Spurs over the Heat is because, you know, they're a deep team. They're all about team. And I think that's the way you beat the Heat. First thing you got to do, which the Spurs did do, their passing is so crisp. Like, they really know how to work together as a team. It shouldn't be just one player dominating the ball. The ball should continue moving when you're playing against the Heat. Ball movement is key. And the Spurs was doing that throughout the 2 games, and you could say probably until the second half of game 2, which is, to me, one of the reasons why they lost, because Tony Parker kept holding the ball and dribbling, and he was trying to make it more about himself rather than get the ball moving around. But with that being said, I love the Spurs' whole game plan. But the Heat just responded back by once they got, like, Tony Parker was holding the ball all by himself, they just put LeBron James on Tony Parker and then shut the Spurs down. But you can get away from that because you got to keep the ball moving. You got to keep it moving, and you got to limit your turnovers. To me, that is how you beat the Heat. Crisp passing, you know, not a one-man team. Just keep the ball moving throughout the team and just efficient scoring and limiting your turnovers. To me, that's why I have the Heat winning, because even though the Spurs are a great team and I think Coach Pop is the best coach in the NBA, I still think with the Spurs and how they still got that memory of last year's final, I feel like a player on their team, either is Ginobili or Parker, sometimes probably even Duncan, those big 3, to me, have it in their heads where they're like, I'm going to take over for this team and it's about me. I'm going to lift my team. And it shouldn't be like that. It honestly, that's not how the Spurs operate. They're a team first, not a me team first. You know, I'm going to say it's always about the fist over the fingers. And what that means is the fist, you know, it's more hands with that. You know, the fist, 5 fingers. Why? When you got the fingers, it's like 2 or 3. So it's more about a team over individuals when I say the fist over the fingers. And with that being said, and I feel like, honestly, the Heat probably could have won the first game. And the reason why I say that is because I go off another saying that I said, the best ability is availability. And with that being said, LeBron James, who's their best player, he wasn't available because he had the cramps. And you already heard me rant over the cramps thing. I'm not going to get into that. Trust me, game 3 is tonight. AC will be working. These players are hydrated, ready to go. No problem. I got the Heat in 6, and I really think they're going to take over the game. But another thing is, when it comes to these finals, it's more than just the superstars, and I've been saying this about the last time. It's all about the role players. So it's not just the Spurs, their big 3. It's about the next 3. And Kawhi Leonard, who's dubbed to be the next face of this franchise after Duncan, Parker, and Ginobili, he needs to do more. I understand he probably is wasting a lot of his energy like guarding LeBron, and it's not really working because LeBron's going to get his, and it looks like he's just a walking foul because he's fouled out again. So he needs to step up and play more. Boris Diaw needs to step up and play more. Thiago Splitter needs to step up and play more. Bellinelli. More of the role players need to step up. But even with that being said, the Spurs lost close. So I think every game is going to be tight. And it could go 7, but I'm going to still stand by my pick and say the Heat in 6. Now, another championship. Let's go to the NHL. Kings and the Rangers. Now, breaking that down, oh my God, I did predict the Kings would win. I'd probably say Kings in 6, or I don't even know if I gave the Kings in 6. But it's looking like it's going to be the Kings. I'm going to say in 5. I'm hoping that the Rangers don't get swept, because that's just horrible. Because if they get swept, this has been a horrible NHL Finals. And really, I would love if my Blackhawks was in it. But I predicted the Kings was going to win. I didn't think they was going to win like this. And they deserve all the kudos in the world. I told you, they're the team of destiny. Just because you saw those Game 7 on the road wins. And they look like they just dominating the Kings. They're playing a mental game with the New York Rangers. And they're just knocking them out. And it looks like it's going to be a sweep. But I'm giving the Rangers at least a game. So I'm going to say Kings in 5. It's just looking bad. Let's get into our next quarter. Let's get you into some local, and let's talk about some baseball. First, let's talk about since I'm a South Side guy, let's start off with the South Siders and the Chicago White Sox. The MLB draft was underway, and obviously the number 1 pick was Brady Atkins from Houston. He was selected by Houston. But to me, who was the next best player or the next best pitcher to me was Carlos Rodon. And the reason why I got him as my next best pitcher, he got some great upside. And I feel like he's one of the best like MLB ready pitchers right now because he's a college player. And I feel like college players are more MLB ready than the high school players unless they're just a stud. But Carlos Rodon, who has great upside, and actually gave the Sox probably a B+ in that MLB draft because I feel like they got a steal in the second round because they got another pitcher in Spencer Adams. So they got a lot of pitching, and then they got a lot of like middle fielders, like a shortstop, second baseman. But they really built up that pitching for their farm system, which I feel like their farm system, which was kind of like dead last or really in the bottom 5 of their farm system, they kind of went up, and I got them more in the 20s, which is not that big of a deal. But for them, that's a big deal because their farm system about 2 years ago was just done. And the fact that they traded some of their players away and kind of built up their farm system through trades and now drafting, their farm system is steadily improving. They want to get to where the Cubs are because the Cubs got, to me, a top 5 farm system. But I had them probably like top 3 farm system. They kind of took a slid down. Now, the draft, I gave them a B. You know, they got Kyle Schwarber, who is probably the best hitting prospect in this draft. But I really would have liked them for one of them pitchers to fall to them so they could have one of those top tier pitchers. But they got a lot of pitchers in the later rounds. One is like James Norwood, who to me I feel like is a top 100 prospect on the board. And they got him like a steal because he's going to be hard to sign. Now, if the Cubs can get him signed and they got a lot more pitchers and they can get these pitchers kind of developed and ready to go in the farm system, because that's what their farm system needs. They need some like star power pitching. That's what they need. They got a lot of hitters. Even though their hitters to me took a little dip, that's why they got them more in the top 5 in their farm system, regardless of that top 3, because, George Soler, he's been injured. Javier Baez, he's been good. You can see it, but he's been striking out a lot. Chris Bryant has been exploding, but their other hitters just haven't really got there yet. You got to see if they can make that impact, probably coming up later in this season. But they're on their way, but they need some pitching. Okay, halftime here with Mike. Like I said, Denea sent us an email, and she said these are her top 3 Bachelor eligible athletes. And it's no specific order, but she has Russell Wilson number 3, Derek Jeter number 2, and Blake Griffin number 1. The one thing I got is a lot of mixed breeds. They're all mixed breeds, matter of fact. Those top 3 are all mixed breeds. That's the one thing I noticed. I mean, she must have a thing for the mixed breeds because mixed breeds are winning, man. You got Obama, you got Drake. Mixed breeds is where it's at. Mixed breeds is it. But one thing I want to talk about, she gave the Bachelors, I want to give the Bachelorettes. And my favorite one to me is Ronda Rousey. She's feisty. She's tough. I ain't no fighter. I'm a lover. So she can fill in that fighting void. I mean, for me, I can't really speak on much because I'm taken. But I like Skylar Diggins. Skylar Diggins to me, I love hoops. Basketball is my favorite sport. And Skylar Diggins to me is where it's at. Granted, she got them pitches out. I don't even know if she's a Bachelorette, honestly. Skylar Diggins. Before Skylar Diggins, honestly, it was Candace Parker. So you could tell I just got a thing for, female hoopers. We could play ball together. We could watch the game together. You know what I'm saying? So I want to hoop with my chick. That would be awesome. And I don't care if she beats me or I beat her. She can dunk on me. I don't care. If you're beautiful, you can do whatever you want. Let's get back into the quarter. All right, I'm going to give you my top 50 BS players right now. Now, let's recap. Number 50, I had Roy Hibbert. 49, I had Brooke Lopez. 48, I had Paul Millsap. 47, Eric Bledsoe. 46, Ty Lawson. 45, Chandler Parsons. 44, Kemba Walker. 43, Jeff Teague. 42, Joe Johnson. 41, Kawhi Leonard. Now, I'm only giving you half. The other one, you got to go on my Tumblr page, thefryguyBS.tumblr.com. Number 40, I got DeAndre Jordan. He really took his game to another level underneath Doc Rivers. He's becoming now one of the best defensive centers now in the NBA. 39 is Serge Ibaka. Serge Ibaka, to me, is the key in the heart of the OKC Thunder. You saw it during their playoff when he came back. It kind of gave the Thunder that extra lift. So he's 39. 38, Al Horford. The Hawks only were good. The Hawks were okay, but they would have been better if they had Al Horford. They would have moved up some slots. Al Horford is definitely the leader of their team, and he carries a ton of load and shows that he can really be the man of that team. 37, I got Klay Thompson. Now, the Splash Brothers wouldn't be the Splash Brothers without Klay Thompson. To me, he's a very capable defender. He's underrated as a defender, but he's probably, you could argue and say he's probably one of the best shooters in the NBA. And then 36, I got Lance Stevenson. To me, he was the reason why the Pacers were giving the Heat any type of challenge. He's the only one who had that fight in him, Lance Stevenson. And he was, in the race for most improved player. He didn't get it. But to me, he's going to really cash out this offseason being restricted free agent. So now the other ones, 35 through 31, you got to go on my Tumblr page, thefryguyBS.tumblr.com. Check it out where we got the whole list and my explanation why from 40 to 31 next quarter. It's time for my favorite segment, Your Ish. You send us your questions via Twitter at ThisBS and I answer them right here. So let's get into the first question. Knee-High4 said, who you got in the World Cup? I ain't gonna lie, I haven't been staying on World Cup. I was gonna go with Portugal, but Ronaldo is hurt, so whatever. I'm gonna go with Brazil. And I don't know why, just Brazil got so much history. Brazil, to me, is always one of the elites up there. I was going to say England, but I'm going to go with Brazil. They hosting the World Cup and just have it there. Why not Brazil? See if I'm right or not. I'm really guessing. I have no idea about the World Cup at all. Will I watch it? I mean, probably if nothing's really in the summer. It's just baseball and then the World Cup, so I probably will watch it. Next, my homie who's about to be coming home to the Chi. It's part of my Yeah, We In Here crew. Always the bad guy said, do you believe that Bynum deserved another NBA shot? No. I don't believe that he should, but he might get it because, there's always a need for big man. He was already on TMZ saying he would love to come back to the Lakers. I could see the only team that would give him another shot is the Lakers. But I don't think he deserves another shot because I feel like, we live in America. We're the land of second chances. I feel like Andrew Bynum got a second and a third chance because, he didn't do so good with Philadelphia. Then he got another chance with the Cavaliers. Didn't do good with them. Then he got another chance with the Pacers. Didn't do good with them. I feel like he's done in the NBA. That's just my opinion. But the only time I feel like we'll give him a shot is the Lakers. But I don't believe that he deserves another NBA shot. I feel like he's a cancer to an NBA team. Then the next one, Moho0315 said, is Richard Incognito worthy of another shot? This one's tough because he is a capable NFL offensive lineman. He can start. He's a starting caliber offensive lineman. But I feel like he's another cancer to an NFL team. Now, he already was ruled as the dirtiest player, and this is probably his biggest thing. And maybe he do deserve another shot to redeem himself. So I'll say probably yes, but I don't know because just like I say Andrew Bynum's a cancer to a team, Richard Incognito is a cancer to a team because you can see it. Look at Pouncey of the Dolphins. He's still affecting that locker room. And granted, Jonathan Martin's no angel because you start to see his character a little bit. He came to LeBron, and I got him earlier during past shows where he said something coming in like Justin Bieber or something like that. I do believe that he was playing into it too. He was probably he wasn't no victim in this at all because I think he played into it a little bit too. It's tough with that. It could go either way. Right now, I'm going to say no because he's a cancer. My BS player of the game goes to Richard Sherman. And the reason why I'm giving it to Richard Sherman is because he officially is the new cover face or cover athlete for 2015's NFL Madden. And it's not just that. It caps out a great year for Richard Sherman. I mean, the guy won the Super Bowl. Then he got a new contract over the all season. Then I see a segment. He's up there cooking with Michelle Obama, and he's down meeting the White House, and he's with the First Lady, and he's Obama shouting him out. And now you beat out Cam Newton for the Madden cover. Just overall a great year for Richard Sherman. I mean, this guy deserves it. So he is this week's BS player of the game. My Fuller Bull goes to Donald Sterling. This guy is really something else. He probably has some amnesia. He has something Alzheimer's. He has something wrong with him. Something is not right with him mentally. Because obviously I announced like last week that, sell the Clippers with Steve Ballmer and, the new Clippers owner, everything's there. It's a win for the NBA. Now Donald Sterling, first he didn't sign off on the papers because, he was hoping that the NBA will, rescind the ban and probably he don't have to pay the fine. Then now he just decided, he woke up one morning and was just like, he plans to sue the NBA because he feel like it's a violation of his rights. Donald Sterling, save that ish for the birds. Do not feed me BS and call it sugar grits. You know why? It's because, granted, I don't know if you should lose your team over something this person said, but you don't deserve an NBA team because you're a horrible individual and you're a horrible person for the things that you said. You stand by what you said, and then you had a chance to redeem yourself on TV, and then you start bashing Magic Johnson. You do not deserve a team. A guy like you get, that's karma coming back at you. I hope the NBA fights this, and I hope the NBA wins, because Donald Sterling, you need to save that itch for the birds. Do not feed me BS and call it sugar grits. I don't like that. Don't peel my leg and tell me it's raining. So you are this week's Full of Bull. I want y'all to go on my Tumblr page. That's thefryguyBS.tumblr.com. Go on there. We got great stuff. I got my article up of, my top 50 BS NBA players right now. We got number 40 up to number 31. Got my explanation on there. Go on there and check it out. The NBA Finals going on. Championship rings will be given. We got the history of all the NBA championship rings. You can see them all. Just go on there, hit the link. We got it. You can check out all the pictures there. We got our picks of this week. We got a lot of videos. We got a video of another official video of the NFL Madden 15 trailer. We got that. And we got the NBA 2K15 trailer as well. And we got a video, keep it local. Chicago Bulls, they got their new practice facility that's going to be opening up. It's going to be right by the United Center. You can check out the video and see how it looks. Check out the video. Look at the tour of their new practice facility. It's awesome. Check it out. I would like y'all to go send us questions on our Twitter page. That's @thisbsshow, so we can answer here on Your Ish, our segment. Also, we have a YouTube channel. Go on there, check it out. Just type in This BS Podcast Show on YouTube. We got our channel. Subscribe to it. I want to thank everybody who's tuning in and giving me your feedback. You guys are listeners. Love you guys. We've been doing the show for a while now. This is now our 15th show of doing This BS Podcast Show. And before, our show was called the Bust Your Lip Podcast Show, and we had 10 shows of that, so a total of 25 shows. We're going to continue and keep this going. We've grown. We got a lot of things going on. We got a lot more things to do and improve on this show. I'd like to thank everybody. Let me give some shout outs. Mike Howard, Denea, Angela Lewis, Devin Washington, Lawrence Holmes, Jonathan Hood, Connor McKnight, the Game family. You guys, the listeners, like I said before, for giving your feedback and listening in. Remember, life is a game, so play hard all 4 quarters. This has been another edition of This BS Podcast Show. I'm your host, Brandon Fryer, a.k.a. The Fry Guy. 2 fingers in the air. Peace. I see you next week, man. Yo, it must be a ton of seagulls outside because they got to be like right by the window because I can hear them hawking. I don't know what's going on. There's been a bunch of seagulls just crashing through this window right now. They're committing suicide. I don't even know if y'all can hear them right now. It's ridiculous. It's like 1,000 seagulls outside. Like, I'm afraid, man. Like, they're going to attack us or something or poo on us or something. You hear them? Yeah, I hear them. Yeah.